You know that feeling. The one where you're staring at your phone and it just goes quiet. No reply, no explanation, just silence, heavy, deliberate, suffocating silence. And the terrifying part? You're not even sure what you did wrong. That silence isn't an accident. It's a weapon. And someone put it in your hands on purpose. Stay with me, because today we're going to disarm it completely. You've probably felt it, that spiral. The silence starts and your mind immediately goes into overdrive. Did I say something wrong? Did I push too hard? Am I too much? I know you've asked yourself why someone who claims to love you can just disappear emotionally, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days. And I know you've blamed yourself every single time. You've probably even apologized for things you didn't do, just to break the ice, just to get back to normal, just to stop that sick, anxious feeling in your chest. That's not weakness. That's what it looks like to be an empath in survival mode. But here's the truth no one tells you. The silent treatment isn't just cold behavior. It's a calculated psychological tool. And once you understand how it works, you'll never see it the same way again. The psychological revelation. Let me introduce you to what I call the emotional famine cycle. Here's how it works. You are an empath, likely anxiously attached, meaning your nervous system is wired to monitor relationships for danger. You feel deeply. You read moods. You sense shifts before they happen. That's your gift. But in the wrong relationship, it becomes your vulnerability. On the other side, an avoidant, or in more extreme cases, a narcissistic individual. Their attachment style does the opposite. When emotional intimacy gets too close, too real, too demanding, they shut down. They pull back. They go cold. Now, here's where it becomes a weapon, and not just a coping mechanism. The avoidant quickly learns, consciously or not, that their silence controls you. When they go quiet, you chase. When you chase, they feel powerful. When they feel powerful, they return. You feel relief. Your nervous system exhales. You call it love. It isn't love, it's conditioning. Think about it. Every time they go silent and you reach out first, you've just taught them that silence equals control over you. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. You get warmth, then coldness, then warmth again. The unpredictable pattern doesn't make you love them less. It makes you crave them more. The same way a slot machine keeps you pulling the lever, not because you always win, but because sometimes you do. Sound familiar? The empath's brain, already primed to feel everything, becomes addicted to the highs. The reconciliation after the silence feels euphoric, so the cycle repeats. The emotional famine cycle: silence, anxiety, chase, brief warmth, silence again. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're caught in a loop that was never designed for you to win. Let's make this real. It's a Tuesday evening. You had a hard day. You decide to be vulnerable. You text your partner something honest. Maybe you say you've been feeling distant lately, or that you need more quality time together. It took courage. You hit send. 2 blue check marks. They've read it. And then, nothing. An hour passes. Your stomach tightens. You check your phone again. Still nothing. You start to wonder, was it too much? Did I sound needy? Maybe I should have waited. 3 hours. Your anxiety is loud now. You draft 3 follow-up messages and delete them all. 6 hours later, they finally reply, "I'm fine, just been busy." That's it. No acknowledgement of what you shared. No warmth, just a door politely but firmly shut in your face. And the worst part? You'll find yourself apologizing by morning. Not because you were wrong, but because the silence made you doubt everything about yourself. That's the weapon working exactly as intended. Your vulnerability was used as the trigger. The silence was the bullet. And your own anxious attachment pulled the hammer back. The mistake most empaths make. Here's where most empaths get it wrong. And I've been here too. Over-explaining yourself. You try to rationalize, clarify, re-explain your original message, hoping logic will melt the cold wall. It won't. The silence isn't about a misunderstanding. It's about power. The more you explain, the more ammunition they have to dismiss you as too emotional, too intense, or too much, apologizing to break the silence. This is the most painful one, because it feels like maturity, like being the bigger person. It isn't. When you apologize for expressing a legitimate need, you are training them deeply, unconsciously, that your feelings are negotiable, that your needs can be punished away. Each apology shrinks you just a little more. Mistake 03. Treating their return as resolution. When they finally come back, warm, charming, maybe even affectionate, everything in you wants to exhale and move on. And so you do. No conversation, no accountability, just relief. But nothing was resolved. The silent treatment worked. And it will happen again and again. Until you stop rewarding it. Listen to me carefully. You are not too sensitive. You are not the problem. but your responses have been giving the problem permission to stay. So how do you actually disarm the weapon? Here's a 4-step framework I call the silence protocol. Name it without confrontation. The next time silence descends, wait, and when they do return, say calmly, "I noticed we had a gap in communication. I'd like to understand what happened." No accusation, no emotion in your voice, just observation, why it works. You're making the silence visible without making it a battleground. Avoidance cannot weaponize what you've already named with calm authority. Fill your own emotional cup during the silence. This one shift changes everything. Instead of spiraling alone, you turn inward. You call a friend, you go for a walk, you sit with your journal. You refuse to let their silence dictate the quality of your hours. Why it works? When you stop being emotionally available for their return at all costs, the dynamic subtly shifts. You are no longer the anxious audience. You are the main character of your own life, with or without them. Set the boundary, once, clearly. You say it once, not in anger, not in tears, in clarity. When I express something vulnerable and receive silence in return, I need you to know that's not something I can continue accepting. I need communication, even if it's just, "I need some space right now." No ultimatum in tone, just truth, why it works. Boundaries aren't walls, they're instructions. You're telling their subconscious, the weapon no longer has the same effect. Watch their response, not their words. This is the reveal. After you name the behavior and hold the boundary, what do? Do they try? Do they get angry? You dared address it? Do they silence you again, this time as punishment for the boundary? Their response tells you everything. Empaths often hear the apology but ignore the pattern. Stop hearing the apology. Watch the pattern. You cannot heal someone who uses your compassion as a cheat code, but you can stop letting them play the game. Now, a critical warning before we close. After you start applying these steps, something might happen. They come back softer, more attentive. They may say things like, "I know I've been distant. I'm working on it." Or, "You're right. I need to be better." It will feel like a breakthrough, like finally being seen. Be cautious. This is called hoovering. It's the pattern of pulling you back in just enough warmth, just enough change, right when you're close to your limit. It doesn't mean the pattern is over. It means the pattern noticed you were about to leave. Real change looks like sustained behavior over weeks and months, not grand gestures when they fear losing you. Don't confuse temporary softness with structural change. Your heart deserves the real thing, not the performance of it. Here's what I want you to walk away knowing today. The silent treatment only works because you've been willing to live in the uncertainty it creates. It feeds on your empathy, your desire for connection, your fear of loss. But you were not made to be starved of love and then thank someone for the crumbs. You don't need them to change. You need to decide firmly, and with love for yourself, that you will no longer accept silence as a substitute for honesty. The most powerful thing an empath can do is not love harder, it's love smarter, with standards, with boundaries, with the kind of self-respect that says, "I am a safe place, but I am not a punching bag wrapped in patience." If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And drop in the comments what part of the emotional famine cycle do you recognize most in your own life. I read every one. I'll see you in the next one. You deserve clarity. You deserve consistency. And you deserve someone who chooses you loudly every single day.